When I first came to know Jesus, it was at a church like under 500 people. And, I was really active in our student ministry, which happened before our adult service. And we called the adult service Big Church because it was big church. And usually on Sundays, you would go to the student service in the morning. And then after that service, you would go to big church, especially as you got more engaged in the church. That's what everybody who was like a student leader, you went to two church services on Sunday morning. And I remember one of the things that I was told to do was to invite my friends to church. And so as somebody who came to know Jesus when he was 13 years old and got super engaged in church, that's what I would do. And one of the things that really honestly kind of sucked sometimes was I would invite my friends to church. We would go to the high school service together. And then because I was very active in our church, I would just go to our adult service and walk over. And when we would sit into the service, and I would have a friend who was pretty new to church and sitting right next to me throughout the whole church service, and then we would talk about money the whole time because that's the topic for the adults. And it really reminds me how kind of before a lot of these digital strategies and communication strategies, you kind of just found out what Sunday was about by walking into the building, or you had to remember what was said last week. And now with a lot of these digital tools like social strategies or email strategies, you get to remind people on a Thursday, hey, this is what we're talking about, and this is who you should invite, and this is why you should be there. And one of the most, I think, kind of underutilized things now in today's kind of culture of all these tools is email. I still think, especially in the United States, email is still like lowercase king. I think it's what people use for work. It's usually, you need it to create accounts. And the beauty part of email is everybody sees it when you send it. If you put something on social, only a small percentage of that total follow or community actually see it guaranteed. If I send an email on Thursday to everybody who's in your database, everybody sees it. So I do think every church should be sending at least a weekly email on Thursday. This is what's happening on Sunday. Now, this isn't the most revolutionary technology, but I do think it's a very compelling way to communicate to your people and really to focus on the objective, which is to remind people why they should come on Sunday. So if you're not sending a weekly email, you can use MailChimp, a lot of other amazing tools. I like MailChimp myself.